sucks. Fuck yeah, the internet's being the internet. uh, that has no effect on me because I like it. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Good afternoon. Wow, that was fast. What's up, A. Brooks? Isabel with the mega ultra punctuality. What's up, Cooper Eddie? Oh, geez, I got whirlwind checked in the first 2 seconds. It should be adding you. Sometimes it like takes a second. Yeah.
Oh, punctuality is my favorite
Oh my
hobby.
God, I'm the opposite person. I like failed out of college.
You were super on time for this. We couldn't miss the 420 live stream.
It was really important because I was thinking like because of how much I went into like making sure the grid was exactly 420. I was like the live stream has to be exactly 420. I got to hit a whirlwind real quick because Cooper Eddie, professional kendama player extraordinaire, whirlwind checked me in like the first 2 minutes.
Oh shit.
He
Show
was
us
like
what you
whirlwind
got.
check. It should take me first try, but now there's people watching. No. All right, if I can get it under five,
Oh
I'll be
damn, I
happy.
think the camera's not fully getting you maybe. There
I'm
we
just
go.
gonna hold it.
And by the way, happy release day.
Happy release day. Very stoked.
How
The
do you
people
guys
seem to
feel?
really like it.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about Black Ice? I've seen tons of awesome feedback about it, so that's been awesome.
I've been really enjoying the memes I've been seeing. Like just like I there we go. I feel like we almost not like a missed opportunity, but brilliant fucking thing was people putting the album art on the actual Black Ice like fucking car freshener. I was like, "Oh my God,
Oh yeah,
that would have been such."
I saw that too. That was literally amazing. Holy shit.
How's
But
it
yeah, man,
going?
so awesome working with you as usual. I just want to also say that like Jesse and his team are so amazing to work with, like just genuinely awesome, kind, easy people. And it's like so important, I think, to just like let people to just like know that, it's just it's refreshing to work with you, man. And like honestly, as usual, we made this track so quickly and it just came together so fast and organically, not by any like pressure or force, just kind of like happened and just happened fast. And I'm glad we got to like get it out to everyone as soon as we did too and not hold it for super long. You know what
That's
I mean?
my favorite indicator of there being like genuine proper inspiration. Like not to say that there's tunes that definitely take me like months and months and months of like tweaking and going insane over, but all whenever we finish a song or whenever a song just gets done quickly, it just like tells me in my bones that like the inspiration was definitely super there and super real, and like
Yeah.
there wasn't, I mean, like there was like a little bit of like healthy amount of normal second guessery, like times where we were like just like covering our bases and like making sure, because there was a time where we almost switched the drops. We almost had the ass shaking drop first and then the 141 second. But I mean, like we definitely made the right call, and I think that was
Yeah.
really smart to like be like really think about it from every angle as we possibly could. But that being said, yeah, like it's always to me such a good sign when stuff comes together quickly. But that's also like I really like working with you because you have like an extremely genius ear for like what's gonna be good, you know what I mean? And like what's gonna like kind of be really tough to work with. And so I really like our workflow is kind of like we kind of just send each other whips a lot. Um, and whenever like something like really sparks, it's like, yo, I want to jump on it. It's like, oh, it's done, like for sure. Like I'm going on rants and I haven't even smoked yet, but like I always say like I wish that there was a bell that went off when you finish songs. Like do you ever like you're trying to finish a song and you can't tell if it's done and you're just like, God, like
You,
I wish there was just like a ding, like song's done and I can know it's done. Like there was a bell for this one in a sense. Like I knew it, like for sure.
I love that. Yeah, for me, I feel like I've kind of been lucky in that sense where I don't really overthink too much. Like I usually like when I work on stuff, like that's something often when like lately I've been collaborating with a bunch of people as well, and I noticed it a lot where like someone I'm working with is like overthinking a lot of stuff, and I'm like usually the one that's taking away elements as opposed to adding elements. Like I'm being like, you know what I mean? Like it's always that way as opposed to like I feel like a lot of other people want to add a bunch of stuff and complicate things when it's sometimes it doesn't need to be so
I,
complicated.
I
Um,
have, yeah.
yeah, that's my approach. Like I try to not take too long either on working on songs. Like if I get stuck working on a song for like, a few weeks, never mind if I'm working with vocalists and stuff. Sometimes it takes a while to get the proper vocal or get the vocalist to be happy with it and stuff. But if it's just my own song, you know what I mean? Like just the project and all that, like just instrumental, I try to really just smash through it. And if I get stuck, like really stuck, I'm like, okay, well, something's not flowing right now, and I gotta
Yeah.
like move on to something else, or try something else, or whatever. I don't like to push too hard on an idea that's like not quite coming together. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like, gigantic respect and admiration for having that quality because even now, like, after however long I've been producing, like, this issue was definitely my biggest weakness when I started, and it's probably still the thing I struggle with the most, but at least now I'm, like, cognizant of it, is I overcomplicate stuff, like, all the time. And, like, my go-to gut instinct when working on music, if I'm like, this is okay, but it's not hitting right, I gotta add another layer, or I gotta add another, some sort of way to fill it out more, like, something like that. And I've always noticed, like, all of my best eureka moments that I've ever had when writing music is deleting a layer, or muting a layer and being like, "Oh my god, that opens this up completely." And
Yeah.
like that like totally like realizes this motif in like a far more well articulated way without like without stuff getting in the way of it, or without things getting too much in the way. Um but I mean, yeah, I like that's one of the many reasons why I respect your artwork so much and why I always look forward working with you, and like I always kind of say like for me collaborating is like I really like collaborating with people who are like bringing something to the table that I don't think I can bring myself. And like I just there's so many qualities of your production that I look up to and respect so much that I think that's a big part of the reason as well. Like we're able to just like whip out like just a total complete fucking well put together tune. I feel like we complement each other super well, and the same thing goes for the music theory as well. Like I've definitely said this before, but it always blows my mind how like I kind of have like a certain kind of style of chord progression and like certain kind of vibe that I kind of stick with, and then you definitely have like a really like signature kind of like chord progression kind of style kind of vibe, that is like you hear it and it could be like just played on piano, but if you hear the chord progression, you're like, oh, that's Rezz as fuck. That totally sounds like Rezz. Um, they just fit. They fit super well. Like you can
Yeah,
play
man, they
both over
fit
top
for
of each other.
sure.
It's so convenient for us.
Oh,
It just makes
it's
it so
awesome.
easy.
Yeah.
It makes it.
And I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. And you're just like a fucking insane genius, dude.
Thank
Like
you.
like it's unbelievable how many different like VIP versions and stuff you'll do on all your tracks and stuff like that. See, I'm sort of different in that way where I'll make a song and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this song. I love it. It's done. And like, I just, you know what I mean? Like moving on to the next song, moving on to the next song. Like, you know what I mean? As opposed to like re-editing them and stuff like that. Like, I'm very like, yeah, I don't know. I guess like you said, I guess like you sometimes deal with like kind of overcomplicating things. And I really am on just like the polar opposite side there with
But
that.
it's
But
not.
yeah, it just comes together so nicely for our for our tracks, which is
I
fucking
think
awesome.
that's why they complement each other so well. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's so weird. Like, I have such a weird back and forth mindset. And it's so funny talking about this publicly because we've definitely had so many of these conversations just like hanging out. But like, I think a big part of my mindset, why I end up doing so many VIPs, is that, and I don't want to like totally put it on this because I'm sure there's so much more to it, but I think it's stemming from a place of me having like really severe ADHD. So I get like, just really tired of stuff very quickly, but I also am overthinking crowd reactions so much that like if I made a song and it was like definitely super successful and I'm playing it out and I'm stoked on it and I notice that like over time the crowd reaction seems less or I'm starting to get tired of it, like I just want to like find a like new way to fucking do it because like I still feel so obligated to play it and like the sets stay the same length, but I keep writing more new music, and it's like I'm trying to squeeze it all the fuck in there, but there's so many songs that like I just want to play
all the time, no matter what, that I think that's where like this like innate internal need to just constantly switch things up comes from. But like at the same time, I mean, I really think the grass is always greener because like I wish I had more restraint, you know? Like there's times where like at like an after party or like a night three or something where like I'm on VIP number 8 for Space Time at this point. Like Space Time, I VIP'd more than any song ever. But the last time I played, just like the straight up original, oh my God, dude. Like the crowd reaction was fucking
Yeah,
crazier than it has been.
yeah, yeah.
And I was just
I
thinking,
was
like,
gonna
maybe I
say
should
like
be playing the original. Like, should I be playing the
I mean
original? I think I should be.
it so depends too, because like everyone really is different. There's certain artists, for example, people that I have idolized, like Dead Mouse or Eric Prydz or like people like this, like they don't really do the whole VIP thing. They sort of like just play their own music out. But then there's people who like you who just take it to a whole other level with like the VIPs and shit. Like it's obviously so exciting for a crowd when they hear that too. You know what I mean? And like the amount of shows you play, it's like so exciting. But yeah, I definitely feel you in terms of like the OG versions of the tracks. I like to play a lot of the OG versions of my songs for sure. Just because like I don't know, I just kind of like that classic feel of it. You know what I mean? Like I do switch it up. I definitely have used quite a few. Blank made an edit to Edge that I've been playing out all year, which has been cool. But for the most part, I do like to play the originals a lot too. So I definitely I see the difference in that way too with our approach. It's kind of interesting.
Now that I'm smoking, I have a theory. I think a big part of it comes from I come from a swamp of quarter note dubstep land. That I mean, people argue about the name. Some people call it like rhythm. I mean, I never really did rhythm to begin with, but I definitely played a lot of it. But I was definitely like in a kind of DJ-esque culture back when I would play shows with like COD dubs or like back in Basement Saturdays days where like everyone was constantly just looking for the next VIP of stuff. Like I think
Yeah.
I was a young impressionable lad when like there was like the third VIP of Jotaro and like we all were losing our shit that like not only was there a VIP of Jotaro and more rare elusive VIP
of Jotaro, that like the idea of like being able to curate that myself is so exciting that I really think it, long story short, too long didn't read, I think it comes from dubstep. I think it comes from underground dubstep culture, and that I'm so used to just like hunting down VIPs that like I kind of just apply that to everything all the time, no matter what.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
either way, like nothing, it's a gray area, man. It's like I like both. I fuck with both.
I love that. You see that video I fucking posted today when I went to the smoothie shop?
um I like it like struck me like so since like not to be like serious, but like when the adorable old lady, I said this earlier, but when the adorable old lady was like, "That's good dance music," that like hit me deep. Like I don't know what it was, but like it like cut deep, and I was like really validated, like in a way. Like I don't know what it was, but I was like,
Dude,
"It is good
it
dance
was
music." You're right.
it
Like
was so funny and so wholesome. Like before I went in there, first of all, before I went in there, my first idea was I was like, I kind of want to go pull up to like a Tim Hortons, which is like a Canadian
love
coffee
Tim
shop, and go
Hortons.
and pull up to the drive-through and like order something, and then be like, hey, like, is it cool that I like play you guys this new song? I was planning on doing that, but we went to two different Tim Hortons, and I can't explain it other than like I was like, this is definitely not gonna be the vibe. Like the person who gave me the coffee, I was just like, I don't think this is not gonna work out well for me at all.
They're
But when
on
I
their
went
like
into
double shifted, like fourth double shift of the week,
yeah,
like
I was
over this
like,
bullshit. Like,
yeah, I was
yeah,
like, these people are going to think I'm some like annoying, like I don't even know. I was like, okay, this is not gonna be the move. But then I was like, you know what? Let's just go to the smoothie shop. And then the guy working at the shop ironically knew who I was, which like all automatically just kind of lightened
opens
the
the door.
vibe.
Yeah,
And I was like, all right, this is where I'm gonna do it. And then yeah, the it's funny because when I first walked in and saw the two old people there, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna be the vibe either. Like they probably own the shop. They probably like don't want me to like cause a sort of ruckus in there. And then they just stood like that was just all recorded like on the fly like that. And that was her reaction. So it was like so sweet.
I love like well, one, yeah, definitely. I feel like a part that made that like authentic was that like it obviously like wasn't like a scripted thing. It was like
Yeah.
actual real human reaction. I'm also just now like putting two and two together. Like, very smart move to bring your own speaker.
Yeah.
Like, have like a fucking like speaker because it's like, all right, I want to show you the song, but also like, do you have like a quarter like cable somewhere?
Yeah, exactly.
Sonia literally just muttered to herself. What did you say?
Oh, I said that video felt like anxiety exposure therapy.
Dude, like, and it's funny because I mean, I talk about this sometimes. Like, I don't deal with social anxiety. Like, I deal with like anxiety in different ways. Like, I have like health paranoia and like, you know, health anxiety type kind of stuff where like I might have a panic attack right now. Like, and I'll like freak about that kind of shit. But like, when it comes to like social anxiety, I'm like never really nervous around people or anything like this. I think I'm like kind of lucky in that regard, but that's why I think I even had the idea to do it, because I was like, I think I can handle this. But it still made me a little bit nervous, just more so dreading the potential awkward embarrassment
Of them
you know
being
what
like,
I mean?
like, wait, actually, I hate this though.
That would be funny too, though, honestly. But like, I don't even know, man. So
I like
funny.
I'm that's fucking so impressive and big ups because like no, I definitely struggle with social anxiety. I mean like my panic attacks definitely shine through the most and I'm like a mega hypochondriac and like I hyperfixate on stuff.
Stuff. And this is so relevant because, all right, last night a fucking huge thing for me happened and nobody knows about this. Actually, some people in the live are totally going to know what I'm talking about and they're going to be like, "Are you fucking serious?" But anyway, so for
The past month and a half, my eye's been like really bugging me, and so I was playing a show at the Ritz, and about halfway through or like a little bit leading up through the day, my eye felt like really dry, and halfway through the show, I felt an eyelash behind my eye to the point where like the whole set, I was like actually in panic mode, like legitimately.
Oh my god, no.
And I was literally like I was like whispering like this whole second half of the set, I was straight up like you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you're okay, you're
Me
okay.
every
I was
show.
I was in like fully like whispering to myself just to keep myself going mode.
Yeah.
And I normally do like a whole encore and like I literally didn't even encore. Like I sprinted off stage and like was throwing eye drops in there. I was freaking out over it. Like I literally almost went to the emergency room, was freaking out. And so the whole thing is that I get eyelashes a lot in my eyes and Sonia does too. So she has, and this is like a new thing for me, but she's been getting it her whole life. So she has like 15 years of like expert level experience fishing out eyelashes, but I can't do it for shit.
Yeah.
So I need her to help me when this is happening, but we're both touring on the weekends. So like I'll get an eyelash on Friday and think, "Oh my god, this is just here until Monday when I see Sonia again." So I'm like freaking out over this fish and trying to get an eyelash out. I never really get it out, and it was pretty much kind of there literally for like probably about 2 or 3 weeks. Before
Dude.
So what
nightmare.
happened was I had been vaping in secret.
In
Um
secret? What? This is news?
yeah. So I was doing that. And like the reason I was
In secret.
it wasn't secret. A few people knew. It's it's fine. It's not fine. But now I've learned my lesson. So anyway, we always discover that vaping causes like really weird, obscure shit to happen. Like first it was causing really weird, obscure tinnitus symptoms for me, and then as soon as Sonia finds out that I was vaping, she immediately found out. Oh my God, vaping is like directly linked to getting like these really gnarly dry spots in your eye, and it can literally like destroy the membrane between your eye and your eyelid and like you'll stop producing eyelashes and it can cause like for real serious like chronic eye injuries legitimately. So I was like, "Oh my god, that's it. Like it's not an eyelash. Like I've been vaping. That's what's been going on." So like I quit vaping for a week and it didn't get better. Anytime I smoked weed, it got worse. Anytime I drank alcohol of any kind, it got worse.
Wow.
I've been like almost 100% sober for like, I mean, like, not like I get fucked up. Like, I smoke weed and I drink like a glass of wine a night, but like, I haven't been doing anything at all. I've been having super fucked up dreams because I haven't been smoking weed before bed for like literally a month because I've been like, I have this eye condition that I'm just waiting to get better because I started vaping again. I went to an optometrist over this. They gave me special eye drops. Like, it's been a saga for
Holy
like a month and a half.
shit, man.
And then
so last night, fucking some fluke of a miracle, Sonia was like, "Wait, I think I like see something," and she pulled my eyelid all the way, all the way, all the way back, and I'm at the point where I'm about to make a second optometrist appointment, convinced that I have glaucoma. And she sees this strand, and she pulls out fucking like this long of a hair, super, super,
What?
super thin hair, and it like that was I immediately felt better. And I'm not kidding, I cried. Like I fully fucking cried because I
Oh
just like
my.
it had been like a month and a half of like, and I don't know if anyone in the chat remembers me talking about this before when it happened at the Rich show and how it's been like an off and on again thing. But my eye's been bugging me like badly for like a while, and we literally solved it last night. And I'm still walking around my house in like disbelief that like I can just blink and then it just feels normal. Like I can't believe it. Like
Dude,
I'm speechless,
that
literally.
that's
So,
literally the best thing about experiencing something fucked up like that, where you like experience some sort of pain consistently or you experience some sort of mental agony consistently, and then you like get through it or move on to like it doesn't happen anymore. It's like you live life just differently. Like you wake up and you're like, wow, a
just
grateful
up
day
here.
to not have something bothering my fucking eyeball and causing me so much grief and pain. And yeah, that's literally the best part about like experiencing any sort of absolute nonsense, I think, as a human being, is that afterwards you're just like, you know, when I experience my like debilitating insomnia, for example, like every single day now, and I sleep fine, I wake up every morning and I'm just like, wow, I literally love life because I slept great last
Fuck
night. And then like I entered my shower and like the shower's hot. And I'm like, I'm so grateful for like the hot water. Like this is me every day. Like I'm just so fucking grateful for that little kind of shit like that, because like, so you know what I mean? Imagine you wake up tomorrow and you like something small, like your shower doesn't have hot water. It's just like annoying inconvenience, you know, stuff like this. But it's like when you have all those little things, like you have like your food to make, you slept fine, your family's all right, everyone's fine. Like it's not like you're chasing euphoria, but just the fact that you're all right and just even somewhat fine is the most incredible feeling to like really embrace and be aware of, you know. And like perfectly comes back to your eye situation about how now your eye is fine and you're just like so grateful for that, you
it
know.
makes me think. So I have like a really, really similar take on nightmares, and it's I've been thinking about this specifically recently because I couldn't smoke weed, so I was having just like the most dreams, like just like what the fuck. So every time I would wake up from like a really gnarly one, um, I would always just be so overwhelmed with gratitude that like I'm in this reality now, you know what I mean? And like that wasn't real, and
Yeah,
I'm here,
yeah.
and this is my environment and surroundings, and this is the circumstance, and this is what my life is, and it's not that. Just like the level of relief and the level of gratitude is like, okay, yes, nightmares are definitely really scary, but nothing in the world makes me so much more immediately like just filled with gratitude and just like so humbled and appreciative for like every small little thing, so like internally too. Like I fucking internalize it when it happens, and it's just like, you know what, like that nightmare definitely sucked, but like normally like when I don't dream at all, like I saw Virtual Riot tweet one time. He's like, every morning I wake up and it was a picture and it said boot in anxiety mode. And I was like, oh, that's me. I wake up and my brain just loads up each anxiety. It's just, I remember one by one each thing that I've been nervous about for the past while, you know, and that weight just gets a little bit heavier as I get more awake. But when I have a super gnarly nightmare, I wake up and I'm like, okay, yeah, all that stuff, but like everyone's alive, you know what I mean? And there isn't like a nuclear war going on right now. There's no zombie apocalypse happening right now. Like I'm not homeless. Like there's so many like baseline level stuff that I'm now like profoundly impacted with gratitude for.
Oh yeah.
That I like that feeling. I'm really it makes me feel really grateful. So yeah.
I
Awesome.
love that. That's literally amazing, man.
We didn't
Yeah,
talk about this song much at all.
I know. I was gonna just wrap up on that part though to say like, yeah, I feel like in the moments that I have felt like happiest ever, it's always linked directly to gratitude. I find like the more grateful I am, it doesn't even matter about my external circumstances. Like it doesn't matter whether I'm successful, it doesn't matter about anything, because when I was 16 I didn't have anything other than like I didn't even have a job. Obviously at 16 I was just in high school, right? But like I was just like
That was catchy.
so happy and grateful every day, and I didn't need any like, there was nothing like external that was making that happen, you know what I mean? Which I feel like the more every day that I practice gratitude, at first sometimes you have to like kind of like force yourself to do it, but then it becomes second nature. And when it becomes second nature, you sort of like literally live your life that way. And I truly feel like over the last few months, as I've slowed down my schedule and found balance in my life. It feels like every day kind of feels that way. I feel like I'm like literally like a philosophy guru
Yeah,
right now, but
let
like
me
I'm just
disclaim that I definitely don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm just some
fucking guy. Like that's it. Like I definitely
yeah.
didn't go to school. I failed out of school actually. Like I do not. There's people who can articulate and know so much more than anything I'm ever gonna say. Listen to them for sure. But fuck yeah. I mean, like, nah, real as fuck. Like, I mean, that just made me think. Like, I mean, when I had my first job when I was like 14. I worked at so many different grocery stores, and I just like think about life, and it's just like, oh my god, dude. Like, I used to push carts, like
fantasizing about Skrillex pulling up in a tour bus, being like, "Come on tour with us, bro!" Like that was my daydream as I was sitting at Target on a 12-hour shift, like selling Frozen on Blu-ray for 12. Yeah, you know. Anyway, I feel it so hard. I'm also really stoned now. My tolerance is really low. I haven't been smoking. That's all I needed to smoke, and now I'm like very high. I'm gonna drink
That's
water.
fucking incredible. I didn't smoke yet because when I smoke, my brain is like definitely not as quickly operating.
It's Oh, I remembered one thing I was gonna say um, about like being appreciative and like trying to remain in that mindset though, is I've noticed that it like an added benefit to that is it forces me to exist far more in a moment. Like it grounds me into the present like so much better because honestly, like the thing we always say is Sonia's always anxious about the past and I'm always anxious about the future. So I'm in like a perpetual state of like, oh God, what if? Like I'm never not like, oh geez, what if this happens? That's always happening in my brain all the time. So like being able to just like exist in the moment and not like needlessly scan forward for like looking for possible like things to be worried about is like pretty cool. It helps
Oh
out.
yeah. I thought that's so true. Like I find it almost uncomfortable sometimes when I'm like when I'm like thinking too much about like what's going to happen, like what I want to do next and like things I want to achieve next. Like don't get me wrong, it's great to have that kind of ambition and stuff, but at the same time I just think it's so important to also just be grateful that for where you are right now and like you know what I mean? Like what you've already done and like whatever, like small or large scale, like should be grateful in the moment anyways for what you've done and just live in that, you know, because otherwise you're just chasing this endless rabbit forever, you know what I mean? You're just gonna keep chasing it. And I've seen tons of interviews of people too where they're like, you know, do you feel like you've made it? And they're talking to like someone who's done a ton and accomplished a lot. And their response is, no, I don't feel like I've made it. I still have a lot, like I still have a lot to do and like all this stuff. And it's just like I personally see things differently. I see things like I definitely have made it, and anything that happens is a bonus. I've already achieved like what I wanted, which is to make music my job. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
And making music my job, which is obviously my passion. That's all I wanted. Like everything else that happens from now is just such a bonus. You know what I mean? Like and it just continues to be a bonus and like another win and another win and I'm just like sweet but like I didn't need it you know because like I'm good like
It's almost like it's like
yeah
it makes me think of a parallel to like the idea of like finding inner happiness versus like always trying to get that next material
yeah
thing. Like it's exactly that. Like your actual legitimate happiness, it's never going to come from this award. It's never going to come from selling out like this venue. It's never going to come from getting this many streams and it's never going to come from getting this many likes ever. Like that will never fucking happen no matter what. Period. And the like and it's honestly taken me age to kind of learn that, but it's like when I first started I never expected any recognition whatsoever. My only goal for like even now, well, especially now, but when I first started too, my only goal was to just get good at it and to like learn how to like make cool sounds. And it's kind of like it's really returned to that, not to say it really ever left in the first place, but like
what I've strived for most and what brings me the most like peace and like validation by a huge margin has gone from like, oh, I want to get this giant crowd reaction on this song and I want everyone to go crazy and I want the audience to like erupt, you know what I mean? But now what gives me more peace of mind and more like validation is when I'm in the studio by myself making that song and
yeah
I'm just really excited about it. And like I'm just like, okay, I love this so much that does not matter to me what anyone else thinks of it,
Oh,
because I
dude.
wouldn't
Yeah.
because I wouldn't
Best
change
feeling.
anything. I
Best
would not
feeling.
change anything. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want anything about this to change. To me right now, this is exactly what I want this to be. So like, it's invincible to anything, because like, this is exactly what the fuck I set out to do, and I feel like I'm just like, that's fucking it. Also, Black Ice, I felt that way 1 trillion%.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That's fucking it. Like
Oh, same,
1000%.
same, 100%. I was like, it's kind of like you love it so much and you're so certain in it that like anyone else's opinion will not sway you at all. It's just like you're solid on it. It's like, nah, this is cool. This is sick as fuck, and like it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. 'Cause at the end of the day, like our creative idea and our creative vision,
You're
it
able to just chalk it
yeah.
up to like, we just have, if you don't like it, then you just have a different taste in music than I do, because like, this is exactly what the fuck I want to hear. Like 100%.
Nah, that's literally the best way to see it for sure. I think like a lot of people definitely are sometimes overthinking while they're working on music, thinking like, what will they think? But actually, it's really quite hard. I've learned
It's
to dissect
impossible.
that. It's pretty impossible. Like, you know, some songs that I have felt in my past, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a big one for me. You know, some fans were like, like, you know what I mean? And then the ones that I was like, I didn't even think was like that great. Like certain fans were like, this is the best Rezz song ever. You know, it's like, it's super, super unpredictable. Definitely the most important thing without a question is to just do whatever you want to do. Like just like whatever you're inspired by, just put it together. Do it because you want to hear it, you know. That's also why I started making music as well, by the way, is because I would like, I felt like I could hear something that I wasn't hearing enough of. Like I want to hear more of this, like the future.
And so it's up to me to make it.
Yeah, I was like, well, someone's gotta fuck, you know what I mean? So so I started just like making shit that I wanted to hear, and I still certainly approach things that way now. You know,
There was a whole era in like 2016 for me where I was like the biggest fan of this Greek dubstep producer Djasta, who's like an iconic legend in like the tear out kind of community. And he had these tunes, and one of them was a collab with like 12 Gauge and Sadu called Baptism of Fire, and then there was another one called System. And they had this like kind of like robot sound.
yeah.
And everyone in my circle of friends was so completely enamored with that sound, but Djasta released music so rarely that I was at a point for a solid 6 months where I was literally just trying to make that sound so that I could listen to more songs that sounded like that, because I wanted to hear more of it so badly. Like, I needed it. I wanted to say something else, but I forget what it was.
How's Sonia doing, by the way? You doing good over there?
She's good.
I'm good.
I love that. I love Sonia's voice. It's so sweet.
She's like a Disney character.
It's really like high pitched and squeaky. I sound like I'm like 7.
I love it. Oh man, I love this conversation though. It's so awesome.
I had something else I wanted to say, and I literally can't remember what it was. And it was something along the lines of like, no, I already talked about why I started, and then validation of like being hype on a tune. Nah, we covered it, I think. I think I'm ranting.
I love it.
Oh,
Well, anyways, man.
Murda said he was the same way with Djasta. That's so funny. We all were.
Oh wait, let's see the comment section. Let's see if they have any. Well, maybe if the fans have something to ask us.
I love that Tommy remembers that era. I was using Effectrix and WoW filter. It was a fun time.
I'm trying to see if there's like any questions here that we could potentially answer.
Who plays chess? Me and Sonia had a chess era. That is not true. That's what you tell everybody, and it's not true. We were even. We were dead even, and Sonia beat me a bunch of times, and I kept getting too stressed out. I was like, this isn't fun because I'm too stressed out playing chess. But it wasn't that you were beating me. We were like still pretty dead even. You're good at chess though. Like you're fucking good at chess. That is true. I had a really fucking off day, and she just like smoked me over and over again, and I was like, ugh, can't.
Oh, yo.
I was too stressed out.
Here's a question. I guess here's a question for both of us. I guess it's a pretty standard one. But what are you excited about in 2024?
I mean, I could probably say I've said it in front of enough crowds and posted about it before, but I've been working on an album for definitely like a really long time. That I would say is like the second official album because like Anti-Fractals was like the VIP remix package, where this
Yeah.
is like this is the next one that's definitely like every time I
have like a really good one for the past like 2 years, I've fucking onto the pile. So there's it's I'm almost done with. I'm really close to being done. Honestly, January is my off time, so it's my time now to finish it. But I'm really looking forward to that, and then touring it and figuring out a really cool way to present it in the live setting, and the stage that we're gonna have with that. And being able to hit like a bunch of bigger venues than we've ever hit before.
Hell yeah.
And then I mean, what else? Album, touring, probably got a bunch of really big curated shows. Um, Definitely big events. All this stuff. Like probably have some cool merch in there at some point. I'm definitely forgetting stuff, but no, I'm really excited to work on a bunch of music, and I'm really excited to make new songs, and I'm really excited to release music. That is, I want to do both, make new friends and keep the old. Like, I want to release like the belligerent, atonal, fucking quarter note stomper, face punchy songs. But then I also want to be like, hey, like etherealness, or like,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
like funk. Like, I want to like continue to demonstrate range and continue to explore new territory so that I can, develop forever as an artist. Because I have a whole thing where it's like, I like people always say like selling out is changing your sound, where I really believe the opposite. I believe selling out is doing exactly the same thing without ever taking any risks and without ever getting uncomfortable.
I
So
feel
I
you
want to
with that.
just, I want to just,
Love that.
yeah. So like, I want to just push myself forever to learn new stuff. Cause like, if you stop learning, you're never going to get better. So I want to continue to learn how to do new stuff, explore new territory. And I want to hopefully curate the fan base to keep an open mind to whatever that might be so that I can continue to like safely express myself honestly without feeling like I'm pushed into a box of like, here's what I'm supposed to do. I remembered what I was going to say, and it's on topic to this. I saw a TikTok about Rick Rubin, or it was a quote of Rick Rubin saying audience comes last. um, and when you're making music for yourself and making music as an artist, like that's making art. But if you're literally only making a product so that people will enjoy
Yeah.
it, that's commerce. And that stuck with me hard.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I want to make art. I don't want to do commerce. Like I want to make art. So
I
yeah.
love.
Anyway, I'll stop ranting.
I love that. I love all of that. For me, I'm releasing a bass music project that I'm like deliriously excited about. Like honestly, it's for sure the most excited I've been about anything. I do say that pretty frequently about my projects. I do get pretty excited as I'm working on stuff. But this one I'm super excited about, like specifically just because all these tracks are really fun to play out live, and I feel like some of my other projects sometimes I don't make tracks particularly for the live purpose, the live experience, but with this it is that way. So I'm kind of stoked to kind of just tap into that a little bit. And same goes for some events, interesting merch releases this year for sure from me, and just and I definitely feel you about. I'm pretty lucky. I feel like my audience is definitely one of those audiences that is pretty receptive to whatever I put out. I feel like really lucky in that way. Don't get me wrong. There's always the few people that are like, oh, we want mid tempo, and like that's all they want from me. But like for the most part, they've been super receptive. So I feel you so hard with that. I think it's so important for be the most ideal situation that the audience has an open mind, because you probably won't always be releasing the fattest tracks of all time. Sometimes you're going to want to release the prettiest track you've ever heard, and you know what I mean? Hopefully they'll be receptive to that, but that's absolutely key and essential to growth. And I'm definitely going to explore that as well with my project later in the year after the bass music project too. So like it's going to be kind of there's going to be the super heavy shit, but then there's going to be also like the more tracks that you can sing to and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be a combination of them both for sure. And I think the remainder of my career, I'm just going to be like that, where it's like sometimes it's going to be heavy as shit. Sometimes it's going to be kind of left field, like, something, you know what I mean? I'm always going to be random.
Well, it's because and like I think like a part of why that's natural for artists is because like, well, not only do like we change over the years like as people, and like what like as you go through life, your life experience affects you as a person, and that changes what's going on, as well as like you'll just get tired of shit. Like I've been listening to different edits and bootlegs of Pass Out, um like 10 years now. It's been 10 years of Square 4. So like it would be psychotic of me to not get like a little bit tired of that, because I've been doing
Yeah,
it for like that long, and
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it is literally just the natural human response where like if you listen to one really like specific thing for a super long time, you're going to eventually like just be curious about other stuff, and you can go back to it. And that's what I love about like just being aware of it, is that like you can fucking do both. Like people are like, oh no, like I'm scared to change. It's like, okay, you can do one song that's a change, and then one song that's like pure core fan base fan service. You know what I mean? Like you can
yeah,
still always, you can keep it all under the umbrella, and it can still all exist. But it also makes me think of that one Tyler the Creator quote, where I don't know exactly what he said, but someone was like, oh, we miss music like Yonkers, and he's like, well then go listen to it. I
yeah,
didn't take it down. It's still there. Go listen
yeah,
to it. Like it's not
yeah,
going anywhere. Like so that's what I would say is like I like his older stuff better. Okay, go listen to it. It's still up. It's live.
yeah.
Streaming now.
It's,
Like
you know what band I actually respect so much for like just the trajectory of their long career is Bring Me the Horizon. Like me and Sid talk about this frequently. Like Ollie Sykes of Bring Me the Horizon is just so, he's constantly pushing stuff like crazy. Like his old shit was like super heavy, and then he made more kind of more pop punk type stuff, and then it alienated a bunch of people. But then because of that, he accumulated a whole new audience, a larger one at that, and then now when like now it's almost like his fan base clashes, where it's like some people want only the heavy shit, some people only want like the pop punk shit. But like at the end of the day, you just gotta trust the artist. You know what I mean? Like the artist just has to like do what they want to do, and hopefully people will follow and like it. But if not, like it kind of is what it is.
and
Like
especially
you
like
can't. Yeah,
you can so hear it when the artist is not doing what they're passionate about. I'm so paranoid of that ever happening to me, that's why I feel like I think it's really important to us, is like to follow that mindset, is because I really do think it's audible when you can tell if like someone's phoning it in, you know what I mean? Or like if
yeah,
someone's like not necessarily super passionate about what they're working on. So
yeah.
like I think it's really important to like have that self-awareness and like know what you're passionate about, and then like
Yeah,
just do
and
that.
it's also like so sick when artists take those risks too.
Yeah, it's
Like I mentioned,
badass.
yeah, like I mentioned about like all these sites, and Porter does this too a lot too with his releases. Like that risk, like when you go and be like, actually, I know you guys all love me for this, but hold on, like check this out. Like this is where I'm at, and like when you just like own that, and you're like, this is the fucking shit right now, and like even though it alienates like a certain portion of your audience, like that's hard as fuck. You know
It's
what I mean?
scary.
Damn, it's scary because it's just it proves your artistic integrity at that point, because it's just like you're doing what like what's natural for you artistically, and like regardless of what that might mean for your career, regardless of what that might mean for your ticket sales, your shows, whatever. So I think it's like the hardest thing ever, and it's such an admirable quality artistically to be that way, to like take those risks and put out a project that's left field, or like put out a fucking country album for fuck's sake.
Well, it's really it's so respectable too, because it's putting your own self before, it's putting yourself and putting your mental health and putting the quality of your artwork before financial
Yeah,
gain,
yeah,
and like putting it before career, whatever it is, and it's like being
yeah,
like, all right, like this might not be what people want, but like I either do this or I go insane, so I'm gonna do that,
yeah,
and it's like you got, and like it's so respectable to know yourself well enough to know
But
that.
it's like, nah, this is what, like, this is what's inside of me, and this is my creative process. So here's what
Yeah.
it is.
And
Like,
to really just trust yourself. Like that's something I've been really like capitalizing on a lot. Like just really just trust yourself, like your decisions, like your visions, like you know what I mean? Like you're the artist that like started this journey for yourself. So just like do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
yeah.
100%. All right, we're going on rants
Hell
again. I'm
yeah.
so sorry.
No, no worries. But yeah. Well, Anyways, I am actually going to dip and make a tea and smoke some weed now because, you know, I didn't want to do that during the live stream, but this was awesome. And thank you everyone for listening in the chat. This was super
Thank you,
fun.
everybody.
All right, later, Jesse.
All right, bye.
Stream Black Ice.
Yes, go stream Black Ice. Have a good tea and cannabis consumption.
Hell yeah. Later, man.
All right, bye. Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching. Sorry I didn't pay attention to the chat so much. I got like 3 phone calls during that, and it was like, oh man, I was like distracted at one point. But anyway, thank you everybody for being so cool and nice. I hope everyone was being nice. I tell everyone to be nice a lot because I think it's really important that everyone is really nice whenever it's appropriate. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to work on songs. I'm gonna make Sonia a tea. You said a tea sounds really nice. I'm gonna make Sonia a tea. And yeah, I hope you guys all have an amazing day. Sending my best. Drop my Drake edit, please. There's no way that I'll never get clearance for that. I don't have clout on 1/1000th that level to pull that off. Not even close. But I'd say Womp Portal was pretty similar sounding to that. I've heard people compare those 2 things before. Anywho, I hope you guys have a great day. Be safe, drink water. I will see you soon on tour. And I'm literally spending this past 2 weeks and from now until tour starts on making sure that it's as awesome as possible. Barclays Center, I'll see you there.